Alright YouTube, we're back. Went ahead and came out today, finished this side. It is a little bit off, but if you won't tell, I won't. You know, a little bit too high and not enough forward on both this side, front and back. But let's see. Let's go ahead and kind of walk around it and look. Yeah, it looks a lot better. You know, I think. Doesn't look like I'll need that easy flare stuff on there, which is fine by me. I'll save that for something else. But yeah, so that part of that's done. So now we can move on to the next thing. I'm still waiting on the springs for the rear brakes, and I'm still waiting on I went ahead and ordered the steering box. What is that thing called? The steering box support thing or whatever. But anyway, that's it for now. I had to go up onto the roof of the patio and do some caulking. Got a new tool for that because using those little hand things, little squeeze trigger ones, was with my broke hand. Well, previously broke hand, wasn't doing it. So I bought this Ryobi. I think this is like the second gen of this, the caulking gun. It was like 80 bucks. And I had it, there's a dial on the back up there. This is kind of the layout of it, but it's up there where 2's pointing, and I had it all the way up, and I ran out of the whole tube of caulk up there. But I only wanted to do like from the corner. I wanted to get really good up in there. I wanted to run about 6 inches down one way and then a few feet the other way. So I managed to do that. So hopefully that stuff seals it up and keeps it from leaking. And then I'm probably going to go up underneath and do some caulking and stuff before I paint it. But anyway, this is the Jeep Comanche, and I think it looks pretty darn good. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Now we got to track down some other stuff and get some other stuff done. But I'll bring you back when we get to doing that, whenever I decide what I'm going to do next. So yeah, I'll bring you right back. Alright guys, we're back. This is the day after working on the Comanche's fender flares. Later on, after I had done that, I came over here and I went ahead and I did the brakes. I had to run down, pick up the spring kit, hardware kit, and then I had to go back and pick up drums for it, because one of them I didn't even check them until I was cleaning them off, like taking sandpaper and running it inside, and one of them was just wiped out. Super deep grooves, so I just went and bought new ones, and I painted them, and then put it all together, and then put the wheels from the gold Jeep on it, and then put all the Comanche wheels on the gold Jeep. And then I put this thing on the ground. I still haven't gotten the U-bolts, and I need to change the brake hose back there. But I did degrease and scrub on that with just a synthetic bristle brush. And then even to get it even better, I took some of that Fast Orange or whatever hand cleaner, and I put it on the brush and kind of scrubbed it and cleaned it up pretty decent. And then so what I'm going to do though is I have a couple of little pipe fittings that I'm going to weld into the hole there, hopefully, so that I can stop it from leaking or whatever. But yeah, so but and I set it on the ground, and I think right how I have it, I went and lifted up the front and I took off the wheels in the front to get ready to put the lift on, and I'm thinking that that's probably almost about where it's gonna sit. Might be a little lower in the front, hopefully. Yeah, I'm gonna get to work on this. I gotta spray it with some degreaser again up here and just let it sit, hopefully. And then these brake pads, they're not bad. They actually look new, and these rotors look new, so I guess I don't have to do them. There's no, I checked both sides. No grooves. There's just some surface rust and a little bit of glazing, it feels like. Nothing bad. There's not a real edge on the end here or down here. So I think I'm just gonna run this. And then I'll change the hoses. And then I'm gonna get a new stabilizer bar. I wish I knew what I have on the this gold Jeep. I don't know what those are. I'd probably get some of those. But yeah, so there's that. I did go pick up a few things today. I spent enough money at AutoZone that I got had $20 off of my purchase, basically. I think I'm gonna run that stock filter. I don't know if I'm gonna run this one or not. I think it'll be okay. But I got battery cables. These came from, well, let's see, battery cables, filter, and then a couple deals of this Lucas stabilizer, came from O'Reilly's, and then this, and I can't remember what else I got. I don't even remember. Dang it. Came from AutoZone. And then I found a transmission mount, so I just got to get engine mounts. And I think I'm just going to do stock mounts on this one. I'll keep the price down, and since I already have that, bonus. Even though I'll have to total, I want to try to keep track of all the stuff that I did. Even if I didn't buy it, just to kind of see how much I spent, because at one point I did spend money on the stuff. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get rid of that wheel. Got the other one stacked up there for right now. I got these ones stacked here for now. And then I ordered the rear lift supports and a few other things. But yeah, I want to do this lift first. So I'm going to get started on that. I'm going to spray it all down again and then rinse it off. I need to get a pressure washer, but and before this thing is done, I may have one. Who knows? But I'll bring you guys back when we get somewhere else. Alright guys, we're back. It's I think it's the next day from showing you all this and the showing you the brake pads and rotors and stuff. Well, I had already sprayed up in there with some degreaser and let it sit, and then sprayed off with hose. A little bit of it came off. It's a little bit better, but there's still a bunch caked on. So I went and bought this little pressure washer, a little Ryobi. The reason why I bought this one is because there was a few reviews on YouTube, and then there was a guy, I can't remember his channel name, but I didn't watch too many of his videos, but I think he cleans like heavy equipment and stuff, and he was cleaning an excavator, and he used one of these, and it looked like it did a pretty good job. I mean, he did have to like brush and you know, kind of go back over it and pick out some, you know, really caked in grease, because those things are really dirty. But that made me think that, hey, that would be perfect for what I'm doing. And like, it's in this tiny little box too, like, you know, and I have it over here all set up, ready to go. Water's turned on. But like my hand, you know, like I don't have the biggest hands. You know, like I think from the end of my palm down here to the tip of my middle finger is like 7.5 inch or something like that, maybe even 8 inches. But so let's just say 7. And yeah, my hand, like just laying on that thing, and it's a little bitty tiny thing, so that's nice that I can pack that up, and its home will probably be there under the sink, you know, or somewhere over there, who knows, but I can put it wherever the heck I want, you know. And it comes like, all it comes with is you know, you have the handle, you put that on. It has this little little strap for rolling up your hose and hanging it off whichever side. I'll probably just leave it connected and hang it off this side. Maybe I might take it off. I still have the little cap in this box somewhere. I might just take it out, let it all drain, you know. And then you know, the hose, the gun comes in 2 pieces. You like press and twist the end of the gun on, and then it comes with 2 nozzles. This one, which I guess is the 0, and this one's like a 15 or 25. Yeah, 15 says it. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, 15. So I'm gonna try the 15 up under here. I did spray some this stuff, cleaner, degreaser, easy off stuff I got at Walmart. I prefer simple green because that's, like I said, that's like biodegradable and better for the environment. But I tried that because I wanted to get all this off. But I think combining it with the pressure washer, it's going to help out a lot. And like, I've been trying to grab things and shake them around to check the ball joints and everything, and it all seems pretty tight. So I guess I won't know until I get on the road. I think this bushing up here on this upper control arm, I'm not sure. Let me go over here and look at this one, the Gold Jeep. It kind of seems like it's not pressed in all the way, but no, it's right. Yeah, because it sticks out like that to this side. So yeah. So yeah. Also, while I was standing here getting all set up, my neighbor from across the street came by and told me that somebody stole his Jeep right out from under his little carport. I guess this morning or something. And one of the neighbors had footage of it, or part of it, I guess. So that really sucks. So I've been cleaning up around here, trying to get everything that's pretty valuable put away. So I'm gonna have to clean out a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna move all this stuff into the back. Some of the stuff I don't really care about, but a lot of it I do. So I'll have to put it all out back. And I sure wish I could catch them guys, at least get pictures of them. I don't know. You know, it's ridiculous. So, but anyway, so yeah, so he got his Jeep stole. I got my license plate stole. I got a hose that was stolen, you know, a garden hose. But enough about that. Let's look up under there. See, I don't know if you can. Let me get a light, and we'll see. And I'll just show you, because I'm not going to go through this So yeah, you see it's like all caked on, nasty. I was thinking that I'd have to replace these, but they actually look really good still, so I'm not gonna do that. Save me some money. And speaking of which, after buying this thing, I've decided for the month I'm kind of done spending money on this stuff. I still have money left, but you know, I don't know if I'm gonna need it for food or the dogs or tools for the F-150. I did buy a bunch of tools. It's a shame because typically when I pay my bills, it'll show up on my invoice, or you know, like my account info, as being like they take that money away and they basically hold it until it goes through. Well, they didn't do that, I guess, for the house payment. I don't know if they even do that. I haven't really had to pay attention, but I paid it early, and so like I paid it to go drop on the first, and it just dropped today. It processed today, and so like there's a big old chunk of money gone that I was gonna buy some parts for this, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. I got plenty of stuff to do still, and I'll just keep all the high dollar parts like shocks and things like that for later. But I think I'm gonna try to hook up a battery to this to see if I can't lock the doors, and then the key will open it and stuff, because I don't think you can manually. Can you manually lock these? Oh, I guess you can. All right, cool. So I'll manually lock this, and I'll just have to use the key to be able to get in and out of it, because I'm locking up all the vehicles and I'm trying to store all this stuff. So in order to move a lot of this stuff, oh, excuse me, I got burps. I'm gonna have to go ahead and I'm gonna have to clean this and get my toolboxes and stuff situated so I can start wheeling this stuff into the garage. And I am gonna start locking it, and yeah, then I'll have all this stuff cleaned off my driveway. Probably not the axles. I might figure out a way to chain those things down. And I have a lock thing that I'm gonna put on the end of this trailer so nobody rolls off with it. So hopefully they catch them guys, but hopefully you guys saw that. Like I said, I know I went off on a little tangent, but yeah, so let's look at it again. So it's all caked up with dirt and grease and oil and grime. So I'm gonna use this pressure washer, and then I'll bring you guys back with you know, how it looks like after. So let's look at it again, and then all right, I'll bring you back when we get it all cleaned up. All right guys, we're back. I went ahead and used that thing. Let's see, and it looks a lot better, at least to me. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of that's like the undercoating stuff, and so I was peeling a lot of that off, but there is still a little bit of dirt and stuff, but you know, and like on some of this stuff down here, but for the most part it got a lot of it like pretty darn good. I mean, it might not look better to you guys, but it looks dang good to me. And this was the worst side, the driver's side, but I did get a little bit off of that other side, so so yeah, I'll say that I'll take that as a win, you know. And it's cold water. I don't think you can run like warm or hot water to it. You might be able to run like some warm, like lukewarm water or something. So let's see, turbo nozzle. I guess, what's the turbo nozzle? Is that what this thing is? Let me look at the, let's look at the box. I don't know, did it get wet up here? So let's see. what does it call that? Well, it say in this part of it, I already have it all hooked up, so I don't need the, I just need to know what nozzle is what. Okay, so turbo nozzle, yeah, is the little straight nozzle. If you guys can see that picture, and then I use the 15. So I might let it go. Oops. It's like folding a map. You never want to fold up the right way again. I don't even think that's how it's supposed to go. But anyway, so yeah, I'll take that as a win. So this thing's going to be put to work anytime I go play in the mud, or which I haven't done in a long time, or need to clean something off. I'll just make sure to soak it real good in some degreaser. I guess it won't matter what kind I use. And then shoot it up with that thing. And maybe I'll try the other nozzle too later. I need to get a better hose than this one. I just have this one on here to lengthen this other one. So I'm gonna eventually get a better hose. I actually ought to take this one. Well, I don't know. Thought about taking that whole thing out to the backyard. But yeah, this side wasn't as bad, but I did knock off some stuff. Like the control arm still had a bunch. There was a little bit down on the spring perch and around some of the linkage for the steering. So I'm gonna let this thing dry. My U-bolts came in today, so I'll wait till this all dries, and I'll probably put them on the back, and while I'm under there, I might as well do that hose. I think what I am gonna do to this, I found some cheap stuff to use. I'm gonna change that muffler probably to like a glass pack cherry bomb or something, because they're pretty cheap and they sound good. And then because can we see that that parking brake cable with the lift goes right over the top of that exhaust. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to not have it hang up. And then I do want to change that muffler, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I may or may not, but it really depends on doing the getting that brake cable to not be resting on top of that hot exhaust. I might be able to I don't know if I can bring it out and down from underneath, but I think changing it to a round glass pack might work. And I just got to decide. I have the part number for one of the glass packs that'll fit right up in there, and then I've thought about using like the M80 glass pack on it, because that has kind of a nice sound. So yeah, so we'll figure it out though, but it won't happen this month. But like I said, I'll do the U-bolts and that brake hose, and then I'll figure out what I can do up here. Probably like start getting ready to do the track bar, probably do the lower control arms. I really don't think I need to do the control arms, because like I said, only the rough country ones are slightly longer, you know, than the stock ones. But I do need to get rid of some of this stuff, so I'll use one of these sets anyway, and then just to get rid of them, because I do, for my own stuff, I do adjustable uppers and lowers so I can get the right angles. But yeah, so probably at the end of the month I'll be able to know where I'm at with money, and I'll still be able to probably do some bushings and things up here. I will take the rotors off, like the calipers off and the rotors, and I'll sand those up, clean them up, get all that rust and glaze and stuff off. But yeah, it's come along nice, looks good, starting to look good anyway. And then yeah, hopefully get this thing going to be able to sell. And then after I run out of this kind of stuff to do though under here, then I'm going to move up to the engine and then start working on that. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping that we can just do a head gasket, or gasket. Yeah, I keep getting valve cover gasket and head gasket mixed up for some reason, but do a head gasket hopefully. So I want to get this thing on wheels up here though and set it on the ground before I crawl under there and start draining oil, even though it is on jack stands. I want all that out of the way so I can get up under there easier. But yeah, so this thing's pretty darn cool. Like I said, it's nice and compact, you know, so I can store it in a lot of places. So I think yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll just start using it. I think you can buy replacement parts and stuff for it too, so that's nice. But alright, well that's it for now. I'll bring you back when we get something else going on. Alright guys, we're back. It's a different day. I got these lift shocks on. They finally came in today. And then I have my U-bolts. So I'm gonna climb under there and swap those out, as well as the brake line that's back there. One thing I noticed too is it has these little clips for the back cover. You know, it's like a soft cover that accordions out, or whatever you call that. It rolls out. But this one over here is broken, and I know that there is a program for 3D printing of these that I saved, so that when I get my 3D printer I can print some out, but there was none for these, so I may end up having to do my own program. There was a guy that had made some, but he didn't have the program for it, and I might register to that site and like contact him and see if he's got those, because I'd like to make some of these some real tough ones for this gold Jeep. Because what I thought about doing for it was building a platform back here, and yeah, I could have a platform that just sits in here. Maybe use these hooks for, like, you know, kind of tie it down or something. But I thought about using these clips for like extra supports, and then I've even thought about building a section that could go in right up there in the front, and then maybe it'll like fold off of this back one to where I can fold it out, set it down. It'll be supported up there in the front, and then you know, I could take that part of the seat out, and then this would give room for like the dogs to lay. I could get to stuff from the doors underneath. I could get to stuff from the back, and then the dogs could like lay on top, and that would keep my windows free, because I need this window back here for to be able to see. And then because like I've cut people off by having stuff like piled up over here, but this side is okay, because I used that window. As long as that window and this whole side is free, I can see all the way around. And it might just be good just to build a platform for back here, leave the seat up, you know, and the dogs could just sit on the seat, you know, in the gold Jeep. And then I could just have stuff, heavy stuff, excuse me, underneath, you know, and then have like lighter stuff maybe up on top. but like camp chairs and things like that. But yeah, let me get under there, and I think after I do this, I think I might go up and do the transmission mount while I'm under there. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'll bring you guys back when we get going and get done with some of this stuff. Okay guys, we're back. I went ahead and I did those back U-bolts. You can see the shiny ones, you know, like right up in there. It's all nice and shiny because they were like galvanized. So they're in, they're tight. I put it back on the ground. I didn't do that rear brake line yet because I came up here instead, and I took off the steering linkage from the pitman arm, let it hang, and then I took the track bar mount and everything from up here. Now I just got to take the bolt that's over on that other side out and get the track bar out of the way. I got kind of an idea what I might do with these control arms. I think I'm going to take them probably completely out, and then I'm going to put the springs up in there, and then I'll have the jack under the axle so I can pull it back and forth as needed. It'll be kind of hard with that dirt right there, but I want to get it to where this pad is in line with the spring. And I do understand that when you put weight on it, this whole thing is going to kind of swing forward a little bit, so I'll have to put that into account. But I'm thinking of lengthening some of these control arms, probably just using these stock ones because I got plenty of them. I could cut them and weld them together and gusset and brace them, because what I thought is I could measure from hole to hole on both uppers and lowers, and then I would extend them, and then underneath, since they're like kind of hollow up underneath, I'd run a piece of strap and weld it in, and then I would take part of one of the other ones, cut it out, and then brace like the back side of it, like press it over and weld it in, give it some strength, and just use these because I don't really want to spend any more money on this thing. For this kind of stuff, and you know, they're not the strongest. Some aftermarket stuff would be stronger, but those ones that I have are stronger, but they're also the same length as these lowers, pretty much. The rough countries are slightly longer, but not long enough, and that would allow the spring to be straight enough to where the bump stop could still contact that pad if needed, even though those springs are pretty heavy. And I think they're just ugly, but I think they're pretty decent. I'll just keep them. But yeah, that's what I have planned, so I might do that. I almost really don't need to replace these, even though I'm going to do it anyway, with those longer ones. And then yeah, I'll do it to the back too. But yeah, I'm thinking of what I can do up here to help save some money. And I'll probably, these little clippy things, they don't really hold on to anything. I'm going to cut them off. Yeah, I think I'll cut them off. And I'm going to, this thing was aligned, so I'm not going to mess with this drag link, but I will have to probably mess with the upper steering linkage for the pitman arm there. I'll have to probably lengthen it out and straighten the steering wheel and all that stuff. And then I'll have to try to figure out to make sure that this doesn't contact the springs at any time. So yeah, that's what I have in mind. So let me get working, and I'll figure something out, and I'll bring you guys back when I've decided what I'm going to do. Alright guys, we're back. I just wanted to show some stuff that came in real quick. Some keychains. These aren't going to work for what I originally wanted them to, but it'll be good for keeping some of the keys separated and be able to identify them. I wanted to see what green looked like and silver and the black. That's why I bought 3 of those. And then I bought this mug. It's a 32-ounce coffee mug, but I use them for water and soda and, you know, energy drinks, Gatorade, whatever. And then it has some straws and a brush. And then down inside it has these little tips for the ends of the straws, which I probably won't use. I don't need them. And then I ordered these 2, and I think they're a little bit big for that rear axle. I didn't look to see if the front had one. It already has a plug built in, but the rear one doesn't. And I think I'm going to probably end up going with these. These came from a hardware store, and I will have to trim down some on the back, but they were galvanized, so I went ahead and soaked them in some vinegar for a couple days to get the galvanizing off so they could be welded in. So I might go with these, but depending on how big that hole is, will determine really which ones I use. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll drain the oil and wrap it up in plastic after I take that cover off so it keeps dirt and stuff out of there. And then get ready to weld that on, because I probably need to change this diff oil anyway, and I have some, so we'll do that. And then yeah, I haven't done anything yet up here. I haven't done any more back there, but we'll give some of these a try. I'll probably use these on something else in the future. I think actually all of these axles over here, this one doesn't have one, so it might be good to use on that one. And I don't know if the front one does or not, so I might use those big ones for that. Drill my own hole. Actually, it might even have does it have an access port on the side? I know on this Ford here, it has like a plug on one of the sides to be able to fill it. Doesn't look like it does. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I could probably use it on that. So I'll probably end up going with these, but I'm going to pull that cover off and see what's going on back there and see which ones, you know, these I'll use. So I'll bring you guys back when I found something else. Alright guys, we're back. Got the diff cover off. As you can see, those are really big. And it would be okay up on there. Of course, it would be, you know, sunk in there, and you'd weld on this back side on the inside. But I think I'm going to go with these because they almost fit right down in there. Just probably need to kind of sand a little bit on these threads. Grind on them a little bit, maybe hit them with a file, and it'd probably slide right in. I did go ahead and count the ring and pinion teeth and did the formula, and it has 355s because it had a tag on there, but I wasn't too clear because they had the 5 on there funny and made it look like it was a 2. And then I wrapped it up in some plastic, like that drop plastic for painting, and then use that tape so that I could rip it easy and cut it off of there, but just to protect it from this dirt and stuff overnight, because I don't think I'm going to get to this tonight. I think I'm going to call it. I'll just clean up, call it, and then come back and hit it tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to go with these guys, I think. So I'm going to go take this to the vise. I'll crank it down pretty good, and then see what's sticking out on the backside. So yeah, I think that'll work a lot better anyway. But yeah, and then tomorrow I'll weld it all in and clean off the silicone, clean it all up, repaint it, and then stick it back on there, fill it up, and then move on to the front. I'll do the same thing. I'll just take the cover off, clean it up, clean it out inside, repaint it, and then put it back on. And then yeah, I'll just save those for something else. So I'll bring you guys back later, or probably tomorrow, and show you what we've done. All right, guys, we're back. I know I'm not looking at this thing the right way, but I just set it here. But I got this thing to fit. All I did was stuck it in the vise, tightened down the plug as much as I could, and then I stuck it in there like this, and then I took a file, the flat side of it, and just went around, all around until I got it to where it would fit down in here. So then tomorrow I'll degrease this a lot better, both sides, and then clean up some more paint, and then we'll stick it in here however I want, and then I'll weld it in, and I'll probably go across, and then kind of let it cool down in between. And then I did go on the back side, and I marked it in black. I don't know if you can see that, of where I need to kind of trim down to, just about. And then I can weld it on the back side as well for a little bit added sealing. But yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll trim it down and then weld it in. And I might go down to the hardware store and look for a plug that has like an Allen head, or a screw head, like a square head, like what's on the front, to fit down in here. But I think that'll work nice. Then I won't have to deal with the plug. The next owner won't have to deal with it. Yeah, I think it'll look good. Work good too. So I'll see you guys tomorrow when we get on this. Alright guys, we're back. Here's this cover. Let me get it over into the sun a little better. I went ahead and welded that little fitting on. I had earlier I stuck it in the lathe and I trimmed it down. I left enough so that I could weld it to that outside edge of the cover, but I don't think I need it, because I think this weld did pretty good, because I went around, and I ended somewhere. I think it's right up in there where I ended, and I overlapped my previous weld. It started off pretty crappy, I think right up in here, but I adjusted the heat, the voltage or amperage or whatever, I just call it heat, to be a little bit hotter, and it started doing better. And then I just kind of wire brushed it all off, and took a screwdriver and knocked off a lot of those little BBs, cleaned it up, and this thing came out perfect. So I'm gonna get it all cleaned up and then painted, and then I'll put it back on there with some gasket maker, and I'll let it cure up, and then I will fill it up, see how it does. I don't think I need to do the back side with a weld. I think that this front weld's plenty. So I'm gonna get back to it. I do have an appointment to go get my hair cut, so I'm gonna go do that too. But I'll see you guys when we get back and we get this thing on there and get ready to fill it up. Alright guys, we're back. It's later on. Went and got a haircut and ate and had to do a few other things, but I had time to be able to clean this thing off and paint it. Hopefully you guys can see it. It kind of looks kind of weird through the screen, but yeah, I'm gonna let it dry tonight, and then tomorrow I'll go clean the diff off. I'll put some gasket maker on the back side, and then I'll slap this thing on and let it cure, and then fill it up with the diff oil, and then we'll move on to the probably I'll just do the front, and then as I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the control arms and stuff, I still haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with that, but yeah, we'll get it figured out. But yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I didn't have any other colors to paint it, otherwise I would have colored it you know, something. Kind of think I would have liked to have done it like an orange or a red. I mean, I have like a metallic red that I had bought to touch up some spots on the that little red Jeep that I had before. But yeah, but here it is. Tomorrow I'll bring you guys back when I get out here and start doing all this other stuff. So I'll see you in the morning. Alright guys, we're back today. Got this diff cover loaded up with a little bit of this Right Stuff gasket maker. Now I'm getting ready to climb under there. I got it all uncovered, got it cleaned off, so I'm going to climb under there and get it bolted up, and then I'll bring you guys back when that's done, and then we'll be moving on to something else. So I'll see you after a bit. Alright guys, we're back. The diff cover's up there. What I did is, you saw previously that I had put the gasket maker on the diff cover, and then I set it up in there, and then I put all the bolts in, and I did them all by hand as much as I could, and then I went back with my ratchet and socket and I just ran them down to where they touched the diff cover, and then I went a little bit more because I don't want to crank it down just yet, because I want that gasket maker to like set up more. It's, you know, making contact with the diff now, so I want it to kind of set up, and so that it doesn't, like, I don't ooze it all out the sides or inside the diff cover, or inside, you know, the diff. So we're gonna let it set up for about I think it's like 30 minutes or something, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do something else while that sets up, and probably give it like an hour or so, and then we'll come back and then we'll kind of tighten it down a little more, and then we'll let it set up some more, and then we'll fill it up with diff oil. So what we're gonna do though is we're gonna, because I think we're pretty much not quite at a standstill on this thing. There is stuff I could do, you know, up here, but what I want to do is, I got the gold Jeep turned around. I think we're gonna come over here. I'm gonna lift up one side, and then I'm gonna start putting that other leaf spring and stuff on this one, and I'll just do it one side at a time. And then I have let's see, I should have these over here. These are my shackle relocation brackets. They're going to give a little bit of a lift, as well as be able to adjust where the shackle goes and stuff. But I figure I'd put these on there because I have them and I bought them for this Jeep. I don't know if they're on there the right way though, so they're just kind of put together loosely. And I have stuff, I don't know what half of this stuff is. I think it's all to put it together, but I'll get over there and I'll start, I'll jack it up, put it on a jack stand, and then we'll start pulling it apart and get those other leaf springs put on. I'm letting that brake cleaner like evaporate out of that oil, and then I'm gonna put it in a container so then I can go take it in and get rid of it. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. Give the gold Jeep some love. That's, you know, long time coming. She needs it. And then I don't know if I'm gonna use these. Ouch, I just knelt on a rock. I don't know if I'm gonna use these shackles. I might. I think I'm gonna move them up though, up one. They help with like flex and stuff, but as you can see, that leaf spring is like pretty much flat, and I honestly don't think, I think it's missing almost think it's missing a leaf out of it. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do right now, is work on this one. So I'll bring you back when I get it up in the air and support it on a jack stand. Alright guys, we're back. I'm kind of out of breath, it seems like, because it took forever to get these 4 U-bolt nuts off. I lubed them up and everything, and they just wanted to, like, I don't know, they wanted to stay tight the whole way. And they don't really look like they have any Loctite on them or anything. They don't look like they're cross-threaded. But now that I got them off on the one side, I'm trying to take that bolt out. Haven't even started at that end, and that thing's in there. I even tried to get the PB blaster up through there and pointed it back, and tried to hit the end of that bolt with it, and I don't think it did anything. But I can just barely turn this now, and I brought out the big electric impact, and it won't do anything. So I have this ratchet. I don't know where my big breaker bar is. I did have one. I know that somebody broke because they were trying to put tractor tires on with the stupid thing, and it wasn't built for that. It wasn't made for that. So they split the end off. That's why I don't loan tools anymore. So yeah, so I don't know what to do about this thing. I don't have anything to be able to heat it up. So I'm gonna keep fighting with this, and hopefully I'll be able to get one side done, and then I'm gonna go take a break, because that's kicking my butt. Because if this side's giving me this much trouble, who knows how bad that other side's gonna be. And also these blocks, they're kind of like, they're messed up. I don't know why. They're like crushed up here in the front edge right here. So I don't know, man. Like I'm gonna have to figure something out. I at least want to get these springs replaced, and then I can worry about getting blocks and stuff later. But alright, well, I'm gonna quit complaining, and I'm gonna get back to this. So I'll bring you guys back if something else happens. I mean, I'm scared that thing's gonna end up breaking off in there, which, if that's the case, I'm gonna have to put a lot of this back together. I'm just gonna have to go park it over on the other side of the house on the lawn. I won't be able to drive it. for a while till I can get that broken bolt out. But all right, let me get back to it and I'll bring you guys back. All right guys, we're here at the gold Jeep. Got the bolt out. Problem is it broke off part way, so there's still like a good 1/2 to 1/4 inch up in there. Now I have thought about trying to take the other side off and then trying to twist that thing out of there, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna put this thing back together, put the U-bolts back in it, and then just enough to hold it, and then I'm gonna take, put the wheel back on it, take it off the jack stand, move the Comanche, put this one where the Comanche is, put the Comanche over on the side of the house, and then so I have access to be able to use the Ford to go do stuff. So and then I can work on this up on the yard at my leisure. It's just a pain in the butt. Dang it, I was hoping that wouldn't happen. I tried spraying PB Blaster up through the bottom. I don't think any of it was getting onto the threads. I tried spraying like up in here, so it would like leak down onto them up in here. It just didn't work, so I'm gonna get this thing put back and get it moved, and I'll bring you back once that's all done. All right guys, we're back. Got everything moved. I actually think I'm gonna move the gold Jeep and the Ford and swap places with them, because I want to have the gold Jeep on the driveway where it's safer to use jack stands, so I can crawl around under it, and I'll go ahead and I'll lift up both sides and start working on them both. Hopefully I'll have better luck on this driver's side than this passenger side. And for this side, I think I'll get everything off, and then I'm gonna work on that end and hopefully get it off. So then hopefully I can kind of twist on the leaf spring, hopefully, and maybe pop that thing out. Hopefully I'll be able to pop it out without having to sawzall that rest of that bolt off. So then maybe I have enough, or have more, to be able to weld like a nut onto it, so that I can hopefully get it out of there a lot easier. I don't really know how long those bolts are, so I don't know how much is still left up in there. But I'll just get all new hardware for it too, and probably put some anti-seize up on there, and then but we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna go take a break, start thinking about this, and then I'll probably come out here and I'll swap the vehicles around once more. And yeah, because I'll be stuck here, because I think this next week they're coming to finish the street, and when they put that coat on there, they want us to not drive on it for like 30 minutes at least to an hour. So I'm gonna go take a break, and then I'll get back to doing something else. So I'll see you guys after a bit. Alright guys, we're back. I went ahead and moved the gold Jeep up onto the driveway after I got done with my little break, and got the Ford over there, and then I can use it. But as I was working on the driver's side here, I broke one of the U-bolts, so I had to go in and order some. So I ordered some longer ones, so that I might do some different blocks eventually, once I can find some that I want to use. The other side, the spring perch was kind of like cracking and stuff, so I'm gonna have to repair that. But then I was up under here, and I noticed that there was there's a ding here where they hit something, and then it started cracking. So I'm probably gonna have to drop the tank a little bit, figure out how far that crack goes up underneath, and then I'll stop drill out here, and then I'll stop drill it there, and then I'll weld it in. Eventually this thing will get frame stiffeners, but I want to take care of little things like that now, so that, you know, it won't cause me issues down the line. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working at this. I can't find those other U-bolts that I have, and I don't think they would work on this anyway. I think these are too narrow. So yeah, so I just ordered some, and then I'll fix this stuff as I go. They should be here in like a week, which kind of sucks. Hopefully they'll get here. Amazon lately has been losing my my stuff, you know, so hopefully they get here, because then this thing's just going to be sitting here too. So yeah. And then I was looking at the exhaust on this thing, and I might do something like this, because to that blue Jeep, because it clears the parking brake cable. And this one, it's not even hooked up on this one anyway, so I might even be able to adjust that blue Jeep's to make it clear a little bit better. But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep working on this, and if something happens, I'll bring you guys back. So alright, see you after a bit. Alright guys, we're back. I kind of don't know what I'm gonna do right now. The bolt right there is way too tight. I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried putting a breaker bar on it and wedging myself up underneath here and then pushing on it with my legs, and I can't even get it to budge. It just flexes the breaker bar. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't even know if this side will come out. Don't even know if I want to try it. But I gotta get something done. I mean, I gotta get some U-bolts to be able to even put it back together, and then I gotta get that other bolt on that other side out to be able to put it back together. So I don't know. I have leaf springs because I do tow a little bit with this Jeep, and I don't know how long arm coilovers and all that stuff will do. I'm not familiar with it myself, so I'm gonna have to do some research on that, I guess, because I might just end up doing that. And I wanted to do a axle swap on this thing eventually, but I wanted to have the Comanche going and registered and everything good on it, so then I could put this one down and work on it. But now I gotta do something. So let me think about it, and then I'll figure it out, and then I'll bring you guys back when I decide something. Alright guys, we're back here at the gold Jeep. I think what's gonna have to happen is I'm probably more than likely gonna have to dang, mosquitoes and bugs. I'm gonna have to cut the bolt off and then come up under here and like cut a notch out so I can get a wrench up on there and hopefully snap that welded nut off. It's only on there with some like tack nuts or tack welds and stuff, but I think we'll be able to do it. And I'll have to do that on the other side too, and then we'll just probably leave it open so then I can get to the nut on the back side if I ever have to change this thing. So that's probably what's gonna have to happen. But I'm gonna get back to it and see what I can come up with before it gets too dark and I get ate up by all these mosquitoes. Alright guys, we're back. Another day. Got this leaf spring out. That side was super easy. There's supposed to be a bushing in that shackle over there, and there's not. And I don't think it fell out because I don't see it anywhere. I walked up and down the driveway and down to the street. Can't find anything. So I'm gonna have to get new stuff for that. What I had to do is use the cutoff wheel, big one, and then this saw. Went through like 2.5 blades. 2 of them weren't super good anyway, so it probably would have just took one good one maybe. But I had to cut off the end, and I should have left this end, so then that way I could rotate it and cut around that and got through it faster. But I ended up cutting this side off, and then I'm gonna have to up over here, I'm gonna have to re-weld that, because the wheel it's got a lot of torque, so it just grabbed and started cutting. So I'm gonna have to weld up a bunch of stuff. I might put a jack up underneath this, kind of push it up, and kind of stitch weld in the back here. I might do a little bit up under there. I got to get it all cleaned out first. But it'll allow a new bolt to go in there, so that'll be good. I'll just put some anti-seize and stuff on it, and then it should be good. But it all kind of sand down on some of that. But let's see, what else was I gonna say? I don't get what's with this pad. There's like a bump on it, and usually I thought there's supposed to be a hole for the pin to go through for the leaf springs, and then, but I guess it's for these. These are crap aluminum, just beat to hell. So I'm gonna have to get some steel ones, but at least I ordered some U-bolts. And then, yeah, I'm gonna have to rework a lot of this. This has been neglected pretty bad, and I don't have an axle that I'm gonna swap into this just yet. I thought about taking the white Jeep's Dana 44s and putting it under this one, but that one's got a 4.5 inch lift, and I want to keep this one around 3.5, 4. If that. I just want like 3.5 because I like how low it is and center of gravity and all that. But I did want to kind of raise the rear just a little bit. So I'm gonna probably get those the shackle relocation brackets up in there, and then I will at least have that in there, and then I'll start working on the other side, getting that other leaf spring off. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that one, because that bolt is broke off in there. I don't know how that's gonna turn out, so I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, and then I'll get back to it, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm at a good point, or if I find something that you guys need to know about. Alright guys, we're back working on the gold Jeep, trying to get it back on the road. This shackle is the one that it's missing the bushing from right here, and then I can't get that bolt out anyway, so I'm not going to use these right now until I can get it all apart. I mean, I won't be able to get this thing all back together anyway to be able to drive it, because I don't have my U-bolts in since I broke that one, but they're on order and should hopefully be here by next week. So what I did is I took the old ones off of that blue Jeep, and I took the shackles off, and I put that shackle relocation bracket, and then I'm just putting those old shackles up in there. Hopefully it'll work enough before I use those, because those I'm gonna go down. If I can get those off, get the bushings, street sweepers going by, if I can get the bushings and stuff for that, I'm gonna move the bolt up to the next hole up, and that's where I'll end up running it on this thing, because I just think that those are a little bit too long. And you know, the weight of the Jeep and stuff, it causes these things to settle and sag, and I just don't quite understand the appeal of those long shackles anymore, I guess, because I mean, they're good for like giving you extra flex and stuff in the rear end on these, but I don't know. So, but what I've been doing is been putting a lot of these bolts back together with like all the ones that are holding this one on are like all Loctited, I think, except for that one. But blue Loctite on these. There's two of them. There's one up there, and then one down below, and then all those two. There's two in there that are Loctited. And on top of the Loctite, these ones have lock nuts, all metal lock nuts, because they're all I could find. Everything is, they were everything 1/2 inch, which those are 1/2 inch bolts, and I had to go pick those up because the bolts that came in the kit are too small, and they just kind of wiggle around in the hole. So I got one that wiggles a lot less, put in there. I wish these kits would come with the right hardware. Maybe on some of the other Jeep models they're smaller holes, I don't know. But anyway, so got that stuff, and now I'm just trying to put it all back together until I can get the U-bolts. But these lift blocks that I showed you guys the other day, these ones are, they're made out of like really crappy aluminum, I guess. So what I decided is I found this piece of I think it's 1/4 inch, or it's what is it? Let's see, I got a tape measure here. It's like yeah, a little over, so it's probably 3, 4, 5/16 thick. So I'm gonna measure out, measure off of this block, and I'll make I'll cut out 2 pieces for the sides, and then I'll cut out some pieces for the ends, and then I'm gonna cut some pieces that are gonna like inlay inside, like horizontal, and then I'm gonna have some that are vertical on either side of wherever this pin goes, and I'll drill some holes or punch. I don't think I can use that punch, actually. I can't remember how thick of metal that punch can go to, but so I'll drill some holes that'll fit over, like the bolt can fit down inside, and then a hole that that little bump on the spring perch will fit inside, and then I think that'll be plenty strong. I'll just I'll bevel edges, and so I can get good penetration on the welds, and then yeah, I'll have to build 2 of those. But I got the piece here sitting ready. I just want to get all the springs hung up in there, and then I can worry about that kind of thing. I'll show you guys like how it turns out, if I'm happy with it or not. I mean, we'll see. But I think I should have enough here to do all this. I got one there, and there's an end, and I know this ain't exact, but now that thing's in the way. So I'm pretty sure I got enough for all the stuff I need. I might be able to go pick some of this up. I was there at the hardware store, and I kind of looked at the metal selection they have, because like I said before, our metal yard is still down, so I can't buy metal. And then I can always look over here, and hopefully might have a scrap piece. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to this thing and get this one hung, and then I'm gonna go over to the other side and start working on it. So I'll bring you guys back when I get around to that. Alright guys, we're on the passenger side of the Gold Jeep. I was able to get that out of there. I had to use this blade, and this is the blade that came with the saw. I never used it. I always went and bought other blades. That thing cut through this like butter. Like, I don't get why those other ones were having such an issue, and that thing just sliced right on through it. Like I was like, had like just a little hair hanging on, and I was like, man, how far did I get? And so I pulled the saw out and looked, and yeah, I was just almost through it, and I couldn't believe it. I just barely put it in there and started buzzing through, and it was almost all the way through it. So I'm gonna have to get some more of those blades. But yeah, I'll have to, the nut came loose in there, so I'm gonna have to probably cut. I'm willing to bet I saw a guy, he cut straight down and then did the V-notch and then peeled it all out, dropped the nut, cleaned out from up in there, and then stuck it back in and welded it. But I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet, because I don't know if just notching the bottom will be enough or what, but we'll see. I'm gonna go take a break, drink something, eat something, and then I'll clean up and I'll come back out here, break it all out again, and get back to work on it. But I need something to eat, need to keep my energy up, need to hydrate. So that's what I'm gonna go do, and I'll bring you guys back when I figure out what I'm gonna do, or after I do it, I guess, or start doing it. But I'll see you guys after a bit. Alright guys, we're back. I'm here in my little office area. I'm breaking down my guest room, which is the next room over, and I'm swapping rooms because I need the bigger room for some upcoming stuff, which it'll be a while, but I just want to get ready. But this thing came in earlier this morning. I just set it off to the side and forgot about it till a little while ago. But this is the steering box stabilizer bracket. Seems like it has all the hardware there, because it has the two straps there, which are like key parts of it. So we'll get this on the Comanche after we get the gold Jeep back on the road and driving again. Still got to figure out what I'm going to do about that weld-in nut. Yeah, so I guess that's it for now. I'm gonna make this a like a two-part video, because I got a lot of footage that I want to get out. So I'll see you guys in the next set of videos.